Zain.
Hey!
Hey, hello! Hello,
Hey!
guys! Hey! So, hello and welcome to Van Wyk Production Reviews, review of Suicide Squad. As you can notice, this time we're not using the name Couch Talk because I have officially put that name down. It is gone.
Rest in peace, Couch Ball.
So, yeah, so now we're just strictly speaking because with that name. But anyways, with that being said, my guests today, guest reviewers, are Alex Weiss. Say hi to people, Alex. Yeah. And Connor McCluskey.
Yo,
Maybe.
how's it going?
Hey.
Peace, son.
Yep. So, when this video is on YouTube for all you viewing this, and the audio and visual is off, I can't help that because that's just how the system is. So bear with the video. If not, just listen to this on headphones and turn the audio and turn the visual off. I don't know. Okay, anyways, with that being said, so, Suicide Squad. It is the third installment in the latest DC Extended Universe movie-wise. It stars a lot of A-plus, A-plus actors, Will Smith, Margot Robbie, let me say that again, Margot Robbie, yep, Jared Leto, Viola Davis, and the list goes on and on.
Yep.
So, right off, so to start off, I have to address this because everybody has. The movie has not really been getting the best critic, praise.
That's
That's an understatement.
No.
I
Yes.
6%. Ooh. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, fan-wise, it's been getting more positive reviews, which is kind of similar to how it was with Batman v Superman for most people.
I think more so with the Suicide Squad because you get like industry facts and stuff like that. Cinema Score is sort of. Oh, excuse me again. Okay, I'm good. Cinema Score is basically like a polling thing for moviegoers. They do it in a couple cities and stuff like that. And back in March when CBS came out, which is Batman vs Superman, get with the lingo, YouTubers, that got a B, and Suicide Squad got a B plus. So word of mouth might be a little bit better. It's still not great, but it's better. I mean,
yeah, yeah, and I mean, yeah, I mean, and just recently the DC Extended Universe, movies. I mean, critic-wise, haven't been doing the best. Fan-wise, they've been getting better. Word of mouth. So, but with that,
in my honest opinion,
what was that?
In my honest opinion, this is the best one yet.
Honestly, I have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I really do. And let's not leave out Ginger here. You can have your input on this. So,
the red elephant in the room.
Best one yet is a hard statement. Best one yet is a hard statement. I haven't seen Man of Steel in a while. It's definitely better than Batman v Superman. By far better than Batman.
You haven't seen the Ultimate Cut yet, right?
I've not seen the Ultimate Cut. I'm going off of the theatrical version.
Okay, watch the Ultimate Cut.
I will do that on the list.
On his very, very long list of things to watch.
I put this list. I can write more stuff on it, but I feel like it's just gotten away from me. I don't know, but
yeah. All right. So, I guess that leads us to our first thing. what were your guys' initial thoughts? And Alex, since you will probably have to leave first, I'm going to have you give us your thoughts first. So go for it.
Okay, going into Suicide Squad from all the trailers and stuff, I was expecting a fun, twisted ride that's just pure chaos and revelry because we're dealing with supervillains and not superheroes this time around. And yeah, it's kind of what I got out of it and exactly what I wanted. If we're just going on scores, I would go with a weird 4.25 out of 5, which equals like 8.5 out of 10. So it's more cohesive number, I guess, maybe. But I enjoyed it and stuff like that. I enjoyed all the performances in the film. Margot Robbie, Will Smith, surprisingly, Mr. White Bread of Hollywood, Jai Courtney. He was really awesome. Well, it was a fine performance, even though he was only in it for maybe 10 minutes and all. But I really enjoyed his performance, and yeah. But in that context, it's a bit of a revelation for him because he's just been bland the whole time and stuff like that. Will Smith is Will Smith. You gotta love him. You gotta love him. It's very hard to hate on him and stuff like that. And Viola Davis was a hard. What can I say on this? Can I say the B word?
Just say hardcore, because that's pretty much what she was.
Hardcore female dog.
Sure.
Okay. That sounds weird.
Okay.
That sounds weird.
Well, we can't swear on this thing. Remember, Connor?
Can we say BAMF?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that's.
Is that walking the line?
And Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay, and then Jared Leto, for what we got from the Joker, all 10 minutes of him, I thought he was memorizing and stuff like that. Along the lines with Heath Ledger's Joker, I did not see Jared Leto in his role at all. I saw the Joker the whole time, and I can't wait to see more of them. And I know this is going to be a topic probably later on, but the editing, I really like the editing. It felt very, the term music video has been thrown around and stuff like that. It also kind of felt like a Tarantino type vibe to it, like the kinetic editing and stuff like that. And but one of the big problems is the third act and stuff like that, where it goes full Ghostbusters. For some reason, that did not work for me that much, but it did not deter my enjoyment of the movie and stuff like that. And the characters were great and stuff like that. The plot was alright and stuff like that. And music soundtrack was really good, even though we got a new pop song every 5 seconds for every other scene of the movie and stuff like that. I just had a very good time with it and stuff like that, and I would definitely see it again. I've seen it twice so far, and I wouldn't mind seeing 1 or 2 more times again. So yeah, it was a good time at the theater, and that's exactly what I wanted from it. So yeah.
All right. Well, cool. So, Connor, on to you. Because off of what Alex told me, your group was really mixed on it.
Let me first be clear that I am not a film critic. I am not watched critically acclaimed movies and been oh, I really enjoyed how they did this. Oh, I really did this. I go to movies just to enjoy the movie. That's just how I watch movies. I don't care if it's something amazing that Quentin Tarantino did. I don't care if it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm going there to enjoy the movie, whether it's good. Now, to be also clear, I am definitely more fan than critic when it comes to these kinds of movies. However, with DC, my lacking in kind of the base of it all didn't get me all the way up to the hype for Suicide Squad, because I did not read comics growing up. I got into superheroes and the cinematic universe with Marvel once Iron Man and Avengers, that whole thing started coming out. But I still love DC. I love Arrow. I love Flash. I love learning more about that stuff. So it's something I'm getting into, and that's what I'm really excited for DC Cinematic Universe, is getting into it. Now, that being said, I am not. I found myself a little disappointed with Suicide Squad. I found myself in a position where I really was hoping for more, and I wasn't as satisfied as I hoped. Now, to be very clear, the acting was incredible. The soundtrack was very well done. I did enjoy the action. There were very definitive parts that stick out in my mind that were like, oh my god, this is really cool. And you can see it in the actors' like face being like, this is a very huge thing. The actors had very nice roles. The characters had very nice things set up for them. The kind of plot was. I'll get to the plot later as we talk about it. But my biggest critique of it all is the fact that Suicide Squad's major thing is that they are bad guys trying to do some good. That did not jive with me as well as I had hoped because we did not experience these guys as bad guys. As far as I'm concerned, they were all good guys, just a little quirky. Because Deadshot kills people, but let's be real. Did Batman not kill anyone in Batman v Superman?
He didn't just. He did not just kill people. He ran people over with his Batmobile.
Right,
Yeah.
Deadshot kills people. Is really good at shooting people. Harley Quinn is actually more a romance than anything else. I felt more sympathy for these characters despite their shortcomings as villains, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. But they have to constantly remind us, saying, "Oh, we're the bad guys. Oh, we're the bad guys. Oh, we're the bad guys." In the one movie we have seen you in the cinematic universe,
no, that's not true. That's not true. Harley Quinn stole a purse or something like that, so they're kind of bad.
Okay, we all steal purses, all right?
No, we men. I don't know what you do on your time, Connor, but.
But even then, stealing those are things that we are told are intrinsically bad, but that's not what makes a villain. What makes a villain is, and I look back to one of my favorite villains I've ever seen in any form of superhero thing, and that is Wilson Fisk in Daredevil, because he was such a relatable person to the point where you weren't even sure if he was a villain or not until you realized it's not what you do, it's how you go about it. Because once he starts doing terrible deeds, we're just like, what the? No, dude, you're evil. Daredevil, get in here and kick his butt. It's that kind of stuff. And so I don't feel that with Suicide Squad, and I feel like that makes me lack in the point. But I'll get into my other criticisms as we go on. So I am initially disappointed.
All right, fair enough. Yep, it's my turn. Yes.
Right.
So yeah, overall, I personally, I did enjoy the film. I actually did. I will agree with the fact that they don't necessarily feel like villains in the film. I mean, we know they're villains because obviously they are, and they have history in comics and so forth, so we can look that stuff up. But at the same time, I do feel like they could have played up the villainy a little more and made it, because yes, at the same time, I do actually feel pretty sympathetic for Deadshot and Harley Quinn and all of them. But I don't know. That aside, performances from all the actors, actresses, totally, I loved it. I had no issue really with the acting. Yes, I even love Jared Leto's Joker. But the reason I loved him is and I don't want to do it, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to compare him to Heath Ledger because that is too cliche at this point. But his Joker, I feel, is a side of the Joker that we have not seen in films yet, and that's what I liked about it. Because I think in the comics there's a more mobster-esque Joker that I think that it was. What?
Depends which comic.
Yeah, well, I know there is a comic or a few comics. Yeah, and I think that's kind of the way Jared Leto's Joker was going. which I'm fine with because one, it gives us another aspect of the Joker, and two, I just loved Leto as the Joker. Yeah, there's a few times he went maybe a bit over the top, but at the same time, that is the Joker. That's
Yeah.
how the Joker is. So, I mean, I openly accepted that. And I accepted the Harley Joker relationship because
They
it,
nailed that. They nailed that.
Yeah, I would say
yeah.
that was definitely another. I would have liked to see more Joker just because he seemed such an iconic character being thrown into the cinematic universe with not a lot of
Well,
like backstory. I wish they would have put more into it, but
well,
no.
an appetizer and stuff like that. Once we get like, hopefully Ben Affleck uses him as one of the villains in his
Batman. Yeah.
I really want. Actually, this is the number one most thing I want to see now. Batman and the Joker interacting with each other.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know how it's going to play, but I really want to see it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah. And, yeah. I mean, yeah, so overall, yeah, I like this. I will say, and I don't know, I want you guys to clarify this. When you say soundtrack, are you saying not the score and the various artists?
Not this
We're talking Bohemian Rhapsody. We're talking Ballroom
Okay.
Blitz.
Okay, just making sure, because, alright. So, I will admit with Alex, and I actually think it's one of my downfalls of this film, they shouldn't use too many pop songs.
Yeah.
They use too many. Because, okay, it works for Guardians of the Galaxy, because that's kind of how that film is, because it's Peter Quill and he has, a Walkman with all these songs on it. That makes sense. But when you have this music video style film, which that I didn't necessarily like either, it just, I don't know, it felt rushed, it felt forced.
I agree.
Because
I disagree. I kind of like that idea. It's different. Stuff like that. We could have gotten a straightforward, like Avengers type, like, opening and stuff like that. We get, like, time with the characters and stuff like that. But I kind of like that. And I had, like, a go feeling. We didn't, like, spend, like, 10 minutes with each character building them up. Stuff like that and getting to know them and all that. It's just like, okay, here's the team. Let's go.
I'm gonna get to that.
I gotta head out pretty soon, guy. Like now, because I hate to bounce so early, but
nope.
No worries, dude.
Right. See you later, and El Diablo dies at the end. Joker lives.
Or does he?
I'll go to that later.
Joker gets Harley back and stuff like that. All the Suicide Squad, except for El Diablo, they're back in prison and stuff like that. And Bruce Wayne meets with Amanda Waller at the end of the post-credit scene. So, bye.
Well,
See you guys. Love you.
See ya.
Yeah. Sorry I had to bounce. Yeah.
No worries.
See ya, Alex.
All
right. Hey, okay. So, now we're just me and Connor McCluskey here. So, yeah, I don't know where you want to start with this, because there's good and there's bad to this film.
I guess, do we want to just run through the plot and talk about things as they come up?
Yeah, I guess we could do that, yeah. I mean, this is a spoiler review, so we can say pretty much anything.
Well, Alex already has said everything. So, so they start off with the whole, like, just jumping straight into, like, these are the characters of Suicide Squad, like, in prison, and then doing the narrative, backing that up. Which, on paper, I like, because Suicide Squad is a very character-driven kind of movie. It's definitely, like, it all depends on the characters, and I really don't give a shoot. I don't give a shoot about... I don't give a shoot about the actual, like, events that transpire. We know what happened. Superman is an existing thing, and everyone's super paranoid now. We get it. Batman v Superman hammered that into our heads. We're paranoid.
Yeah.
So I definitely was excited to get into the characters. The way they did it, though, it just didn't feel exactly right. And I think that goes back to my whole thing before of just we didn't get to see them as villains. We're just starting with them as villains, but we're sympathizing with them right off the bat. So
Yeah. I mean, I will say, I personally, I actually liked that we got to see some of their backstories. I mean, because I think most of them, I think, you know, we could probably guess. Like Harley Quinn, I think is pretty easy for everybody to know. She was with the Joker. The Joker pretty much messed up her mind and made her kind of his, you know, his girl. But I mean, of Deadshot, I thought that his backstory was actually pretty compelling, and El Diablo's backstory. I think I feel most sympathetic for him because I think out of all the people, he had probably the most, you know, impactful backstory out of everybody. So I mean, you know,
Right.
he burned everybody in his family and his house to the ground.
Exactly.
But he actually gave himself up. So yeah.
I mean, that's I agree with everything that you just said. They are very complex backstories, and they're very good backstories. I mean, the Joker alone is such a very interesting character, but the character of Harley Quinn, someone like a therapist, a psychologist that fall in love with her patient, who is one of the craziest people in everything, and falls in love to the point that she dumps herself into a pot of that, becomes a villain. Like, it's such a great backstory. My problem is we give this incredible backstory in less than 5 minutes. It could have been a movie. It could have been a whole movie. That is such a character spike, and it's so interesting that I guess that would be another reason why I'm not satisfied, is because I would have loved to see more of that. I would have loved to see more of that backstory. And I think that's one of my issues with Suicide in general. I'm going to just generalize a ton of stuff as we talk about the movie, but is that they have so many complex characters that they can't possibly give all the time that they need to each one, which gives me kind of that lacking thing. Because I want to know more about Katana. I want to know more about Deadshot. I want to see what led them on this path to here, what they've done, where they have gone. But we don't. We just see this.
Yeah.
So it kept me intrigued in the movie for sure, but it left me wanting more.
Yeah, and I think in my review on our review website, which I will link in the description below, what I think one of my things was that some of the scenes could have benefited from an extension of the scene. Because I know for sure, and I've seen so many articles about this now, that there were a lot of Joker scenes cut out of the film. And I'm almost curious how many of those Joker scenes actually contained Harley Quinn.
Right.
Because, or Harleen Quinzel, whatever to choose that. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're totally right when you say, you know, we could have spent a lot more time maybe fleshing out their, you know, the complex backstories. Because, yeah, 5 minutes for one very complex backstory, yeah, it's a little rushed. It is. But then you have to also keep in mind you have 6 members you have to get through and kind of give backstory to. So, you know, you kind of got to give and take, which isn't always a good thing, but sometimes you have to.
Right. No. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still not having.
Yeah. So I will say, and I want to kind of get this out of the way first. I want to talk about the very quick cameos from the 2 Justice League members that were in this film. Ben Affleck's Batman. Still love him in this film. I don't know. I love his. I love his.
Batman. That was my favorite
Yeah.
thing about Batman v Superman was Ben Affleck as Batman. I think he fits the character well. He exhibits like the very good, like the very classical form of Batman. And we actually got to see him do some crime fighting in this one. Like Batman came on screen and I was like, oh my god, I can't wait for Batman movie.
Yes, and I mean, it was interesting how, well, interesting, but should be expected that he actually did put most of those members into the prison they were actually at.
Right.
So it was nice to see him actually appear with Deadshot and Harley Quinn. But I have to really admit, I actually enjoyed the Flash Boomerang flashback. With Ezra Miller's Flash.
Yeah, I mean, I love Flash. I was excited. Flash showed up. That made me like, oh my god, this thing. And that was that gave credit to, who was it, Captain Boomerang?
Yep.
Okay, I'll get to Captain Boomerang in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Qualms. But yeah, no, his appearance, because metahumans are such an important part of the DC universe that have not been covered at all for the last two cinematic universes and need to be introduced. But this was a good way to introduce them, because it wasn't like, this is all about metahumans. It was just like, yo, hey, it's a thing that's going on. So just as a heads up, like, it's a big deal that this guy went toe-to-toe with one. Also, like, Flash. So, no, I agree. That can be because we knew about Batman. I did not know about Flash.
Well, I mean, he was like a very, very late addition to the film. Like, he was like very late to it. But I am glad they actually involved him, because honestly, I think it helped with the Boomerang backstory. Because apparently, I guess, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I read an article that said that Slipknot was actually caught by Wonder Woman. I don't know how he would survive against Wonder Woman, because he may be very skilled and very trained in what he does, but at the same time, going against the Amazon goddess, it's not like a walk in the park. It's not Batman you're taking on Wonder Woman. So I don't know. That might be true. It might not. I don't know. That's what teases were pointing towards. So I don't know. But
not later as well. Or should we just jump into characters?
Yeah. 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 So overall, the film starts, we're at the prison, which is in a swamp in Louisiana, so it's like pretty much in the middle of nowhere, which I think is probably good, because if they were in the populated area, things might be a little tad worse, just maybe. And then so we're introduced to each of the characters, and I thought the interaction between that main guard, I don't remember his name, but the main guard who's working the prison with all the prisoners was pretty funny for the most part, because he'd always tease pretty much all of them. And then, so go on, we get backstories with Batman, Flash, all the characters, yada yada. And then we actually get to the part where we have Amanda Waller talking to Argus, the movie universe Argus, not the Arrow Flash Argus, not to be confused with that. And she's discussing, I want to put a team of very bad people together to fight, metahumans. And of course, she goes through each of the characters and their traits, and at first all the Argus agents are like, what the, no, why would we want to do this? This seems like like a bad idea. And it sounds like she suggested Task Force X before, and they denied it even then. So, but but she mentions how, what if Superman came to the White House and ripped the roof off?
Yeah.
How would we respond to that?
No, I agree.
And
That whole,
I have to mention, yeah, go ahead.
no, you go. You keep going. I'll come back to it.
Okay. Well, I was going to say I had to mention the mid-credits scene because I think this actually kind of adds something to that sentence, because it's okay. So if you guys have seen the movie, and I'm hoping you have actually seen the movie at this point, if you haven't, I don't know why you're watching this. Bad on you. Bad.
They want to know what it is. I don't know. Looking for more reviews because let's face it, the divide between critics and fans is insane. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But anyways, so Amanda Waller is meeting with Bruce Wayne, which I was glad we actually saw Bruce Wayne. Like, I knew Batman was in the film, and I knew Affleck was acting as Batman,
Right.
but I didn't know he was actually acting as Bruce Wayne as well until we got to the mid-credits scene. But as he's leaving the, I guess the restaurant they met, Ben Affleck's like, my friends and I can handle this. Just get rid of Task Force X. You don't need it. Because, we're the Justice League now. Well, I mean, at the point, he hasn't actually assembled the Justice League, but he's saying the Justice League when it's formed, in time. So it's like, yeah, I could see why the Argus agents are like, this is a dumb idea. You don't need, pretty normal, somewhat normal villains taking on an evil Superman, because heck, half of them probably couldn't take on an evil Superman, unlike the Justice League, who have a better chance because they have a lot of people with abilities, and so then obviously it gets approved, and
Before we go on, let me just throw my 2 bits in about the whole sequence of events of that. I think it's very important to the film that we have that deliberation, because it's just important to figure out why have a Suicide Squad. Why is that a thing? But the movie does a very good job of explaining why. Obviously, a Superman can come down and kill us all, and we need a metahuman yesterday. So what are we gonna do? Well, I have these people to do that, and ways to make them talk. So that's the best thing. I think they spend a bit too long on that process. Now, granted, this all attributes to Amanda Waller's character, which is a very hardened leader.
Yes.
A very hard leader, and it's very unique into her character. So I think it's very important. But to me, I think the sequence is kind of drawn out a bit, because we know it gets funded and passed. It's not. I think they could have been compiled into a larger scene versus 2 separate scenes.
Yeah.
Where one is much more these are who we have, but that I feel like they could have been all right, you make some good points, let's fund it right here and now. The next scene they also used to introduce the Enchantress, which is a very vital point.
Yeah.
The army dude that is dating her. No idea.
Rick Flag. Yeah, Rick Flag.
Flag. A dumb name. Anyway.
Hey, it's a comic book name.
This fact, I only remember certain characters.
Yeah.
Because again, I definitely it relates to Flag and the Enchantress, because I'll get to the Enchantress later when we talk about the antagonist. But the whole relationship between Flag and Dr. Hope, is that her name?
It's Dr. Moon.
Dr. Moon.
Yep.
Dr. Moon and Flag. Oh my god. Anyway. I think that relationship is very important, because she's in a different situation than everyone else is in. And he's obviously he's controlled a different way for Suicide Squad, and I think that's a very interesting thing to add to it. So I did like his character. There wasn't much more than he was this stereotypical army guy, and he was more as the basis for audiences to be like, yo, these are the bad guys, but this is what a good guy is. Like, that was kind of like what we had to grab onto, and I wanted more from his character from that, except for just like the romance.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I like the fact that, you know, it does actually focus on Rick Flag kind of being that key opponent why Chris is even involved in the whole film. But yeah, we'll get to that momentarily. So obviously, you know, we actually do meet up with Rick Flag. You know, looking at all the recruits, and you got Killer Croc, you got Harley Quinn, you got El Diablo, Deadshot, Captain. The way they bring Captain Boomerang in is so hilarious because they carried him in a bag from Australia, and they just throw him on the ground, and he just opens the bag and just immediately starts punching people. Which, I mean, yeah, that's Captain Boomerang for you. Like,
yeah,
that's how he is.
If that is how he is, again, then this is another issue I have with this movie, is that for such a character-driven thing, they show some extreme favoritism for a couple characters, and so other characters are left to the wayside, because Captain Boomerang is it's like the comedic relief. But even like the better lines in the movie that are funny, and like the better moments, I feel don't come from him, and so he's not a very great comic relief. And I would still like enjoy some meat to it. So like, I'm gonna compare this to Guardians of the Galaxy, for example. Each character is in like integral part, and like you have characters that share the comic relief, just like Suicide Squad. But they have those backstories. They have those things that kind of hold them on. So you're just like, oh my god, you're hilarious. But like, we also know about you as like a character. You're not just the comic relief. Because when you have characters that make jokes like this, you don't need comic relief. Like Deadshot makes some great one-liners. He doesn't need comic relief. Harley Quinn is crazy. You don't need comic relief. Like, I feel like just have a character for that. Even Killer Croc too. He has great one-liners, but like, I know little to nothing about his backstory. Like, I remember little to nothing about it because I was either not as interested or like there wasn't a lot for him to build on. Like, I remember Deadshot because that was a huge thing he like held on to as a character, was like his daughter Harley Quinn was with the Joker. Like, those are things that they hold on to as characters. We didn't get that time with Killer Croc. And so we didn't really know that much about that. Even Katana was kind of shoved in there, like moment when she's crying in front of the sword. Like, that is a deep moment. That is something that can rip your heart. Like, she's talking that sword because she's talking to like the soul of her husband that died, and like that's a very serious. Like, oh my god, that could break a person. That is some serious emotional stuff. And it's thrown together 2 seconds before we go fight the bad guy. Like, why didn't we get more time for that? Why didn't we get more time for that? And so
and the backstory we get for that's even shorter than the rest of the crew. It's like a minute long.
It's almost like they literally forgot her and she just showed up on the plane, which is what happened in the movie.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, because Rick does say, you know, Katana's kind of like the if needed basis kind of, you know, member. So she only shows up if she's actually needed for something. But still,
the point of the Suicide Squad, no? Like, they're only supposed to be needed when they need them. Like, it's not like, yo, Deadshot, I know you killed a ton of people, but can you grab my dry cleaning on the way home? Like, if you need you're gonna get the Suicide Squad. Like, the whole need by business. Also, like, sword that absorbs souls. Like,
that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome, and I want to know more, but we didn't get to learn more.
Yeah, and again, as I said, what this movie could, you know, benefit from is if scenes in this film were extended longer, still worth something, and serve the film correctly.
Right.
If that was done, I feel like it could have totally been stronger. But yeah, I think really that's kind of all the criticisms we've been saying, how we don't get a clear, in-depth backstory to this character, why this character is there, so forth, so forth. I think it's all because we just need more time.
Right.
And I think really that's just the main issue in general. It's like these characters, while yes, we get introduced to them, I'd say in a somewhat proper way, we don't get enough of that time with them. So yeah, I think that's definitely something that the film could have improved upon. Yeah, so then when it comes to so yeah, we've met. So
we're pretty close to the plane at this point.
Yeah. So pretty much, yeah. So we're at the mission. They're told you're going somewhere that's dangerous, and you're gonna die, and you're gonna do it, and we're gonna blame you for it because you're bad guys, and that's what you guys are here for, to be blamed for everything. Pretty much.
The entire setup of the antagonist.
I'm getting there. Just
All right, you got this.
I got this, man. I know what I'm talking about here. Let me. I gotta say this first, so then I can get to why the antagonist is important.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they assemble the task force in case a bad entity or anything happens to attack the Earth. Which brings us to our antagonist, Enchantress, and her dead brother, which her brother is just a CGI character completely, and Enchantress is an actual actress.
Also, does the brother have a
Sorry,
name?
that's just a...
Brother.
What's her brother? I don't know if they ever said his name. Because every time I saw Enchantress talking to her brother, she just referred to him as brother.
Brings me to another point as to why I'm disappointed. The idea of an enchantress, an immortal metahuman essentially, from decades old with a brother, is very glossed over.
Oh, yes, it is.
Antagonist?
Yeah.
Like, first off, I love her as the antagonist. I think it's a good twist because going into the movie, I had no idea who the antagonist was. I honestly thought it was the Joker for the longest time. I thought that was his purpose in the movie. I did not know anyone else. But to have her as the antagonist, that worked well. I don't think her motives are simplified to a couple lines of dialogue, and I wasn't on. It was just like, okay, she's the bad guy in the random superhero movie. Cool. We'll do that. We'll get to that. That's not a sure. But just there's so much more backstory there we don't get, and I feel like she would have been better as a villain because of that. Also, again, no idea what her brother's name is.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll just call him brother. His name is brother.
Have to call him.
Yeah.
You get a badass name like Enchantress, and you get stuck with brother of Enchantress.
Yeah, I'm betting the actor is like, oh, cool. So what's my character name? Oh, his name is brother of the Enchantress. Okay. And I get to act on set, right? In a CGI costume, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But I will say the brother aspect of Enchantress, that was extremely rushed. Like,
Yeah.
immediately, once he's brought into it, he's immediately destroying crap. And he's immediately already his strong, immortal, spirit entity, dimensional being character he is.
You kind of jumped the gun on that one. Which is like, I'm kind of okay with. I'm actually kind of okay with the kind of rushing of the brother. Just because like they explain like the enchantress isn't whole because she doesn't have her heart, whereas like the brother I guess has his heart, so I guess that is the correlation. But you're absolutely right. That is not explained as to why.
Yeah. So him, I felt, was probably the most unestablished character in the whole film, really, because he kind of just, I'm here, I'm gone, and it's like I didn't really care for him.
I'm just gonna kill everyone.
Yeah. So, but yeah, as you said, Enchantress was actually good as a villain. Again, and I keep coming back to this, if they would have extended scenes a little further, we could have gotten a better reason why she is doing what she is doing.
Right? We're giving like humans, like obviously she's bitter, like she's being controlled by Amanda Waller. Like they all have reason to be bitter, but that's everyone's reason for being bitter. She's the only one that's like, I'm gonna do something about it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I don't know. So eventually, the Suicide Squad is actually called in to take on pretty much the Enchantress and her little rock minions, whatever you want to call them. They look like people in rock. I don't know.
What was that movie where the guy like ended up without a face? Like something sucked off its face or something. He like falls over and he's got like this whole like no face thing going on. I feel like it was Doctor Who, but that's not right.
I think it was. Yeah, that was Doctor Who, because there's an episode that the people they end up without any eyes or nose or mouth or anything. It's like a blank slate. There's like there.
It was like a very distinct like no face. I don't even remember. I feel like it was like Indiana Jones. It's not Indiana Jones. It's not the Mummy. It's not National Treasure. It's something like that. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know.
Get off topic.
Yeah. But yeah, so once the Suicide Squad actually does get on location of where the threat is, they all start kicking butt as bad guys. Which again, the action was very well. I liked it. But I have to say, the one part that I absolutely loved in their first encounter was when Deadshot pretty much took lead of the whole group and just brutally murdered all the Rock people. Like, I sat in the theater, and once that sequence was done, I was like, oh my gosh, that was awesome. I loved that. Like, I think the Deadshot action in this film was probably the better action than the rest of the film. That's not saying the rest is bad. I'm just saying I probably liked his the most out of all the other, characters and so forth.
It sticks out because they do the quick setup of like him not being a soldier. They do the whole thing like you're just a hitman, a soldier. You don't know what it means to be a soldier. And then he comes out and does this, and it's just like, that's what it means to be a soldier, and like that kind of stuff. And that whole sequence, the Suicide Squad's first kind of sequence, I actually really did enjoy because you had the dynamics in play of them figuring out like how they can get out of this because they are villains, which is probably one of the most villainy things that they did the entire movie, was just trying to figure out. And even then, that's reduced to, we need to keep him alive because if he dies, we all die. Like, so that's they kind of gives them like a good motivation, like a very stereotypical protagonist situation, which again, Suicide Squad, they have to be the protagonist, but still, as villains, like they want him gone. But like that moment with Deadshot going on the top, especially with DC, because everything is very realistic. Like this really shows what one man with no powers can do just in that situation. It really shows the prowess of like the squad. Like we don't need a training montage. We don't need a gearing up montage. They're just ready to go and they kick butt. So I agree. That action sequence was very good.
Oh yeah. And then it kind of goes from there. They kind of pretty much from that point on, they go directly to the very colorful portal in the sky. I swear it's being done to death in so many movies nowadays. But that's where they're going. They're going to the rainbow portal in the sky, which is being created by Enchantress and her, yes.
I mean, granted, if you're a villain with that kind of power, you might as well say, screw it, here's a giant beacon to where I'm at, come at me. Like, go for it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But I will admit, the one thing that was interesting about the big portal, rainbow portal in the sky, was that once the Enchantress added Amanda Waller to her quote-unquote collection, the portal was able to create that, I guess, energy beam or whatever you want to call it, that pretty much destroyed most of the, like, really, like, Army Argus military bases around the world. Like, it wasn't just contained to one city. It literally went worldwide, which I thought that was pretty interesting. Because I don't think I've seen that yet. If I have, it's been a long time. But, yeah. So, I will admit, though, so Suicide Squad's going towards the portal, which I think actually they meet up with Amanda Waller first, and then they go.
They were going to get someone, we didn't know who, and we find out that it's Amanda Waller, which I don't fully understand why she was that close to the action. I don't really understand why she was in that position. Also, she just kills like 3 people and like.
Yeah.
So far, she shows more as a villain than the actual Suicide Squad. And, yeah, which, again, is an interesting twist, and I'm glad they did it, because that made me like, whoa, hey, whoa! And then you got to see the actual Suicide Squad interact with Amanda Waller, which I was not anticipating, and I did enjoy, like, that kind of dynamic.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is, while they actually do meet with Amanda Waller, and they're starting to go to the copter to extract them from the building they're at with her. I just love it how the Joker comes in. He's hijacked one of Argus's helicopters that has, pretty heavy artillery on it, and he just comes out. His right-hand man just shoots a machine gun, and the Joker's just firing his machine gun, and it's crazy. And, because one thing we didn't mention, and I don't entirely know how I feel about this, but Harley Quinn has Joker's cell phone number, and she's texting him through the movie.
I like the idea of the Joker making plans with her to get her out and to do that. But through his cell phone? Like, that doesn't even fly today. People in movie theaters, you try and just see what voicemail you got, and you get hounded by other people saying, yo, turn off your phone, we're in a movie. Let alone even when you're at school, you're just check your phone, hey, put your phone away, we're in class. And you're telling me you're on a top secret mission as one of the most well-known villains of the world in a very hardcore security protocol program, and you can just look at your cell phone and get texts whenever? Come on.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, I will say it was nice to actually see how how much Harley actually did mean to the Joker. Because I
Yeah,
mean, again, as we said before, they really nailed how much they mean to each other. And once they do actually start making plans, the Joker starts cracking some eggs and able to make an omelet in this case to get a plan to get Harley out.
right.
But I mean, and it's funny because actually, under all the gunfire coming from Joker and his crew, it's Harley, does escape, only to be shot down by another Argus helicopter, and
Yeah.
I mean, it was a cool escape, but it didn't really last all that long.
It was a cool escape, and it was interesting to see the escape stop because, like, obviously, like, Harley Quinn had to come back for some reason, which,
Hmm.
as soon as they're like, we're going to go shoot down this thing, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I mean, the movie had to keep moving. Again, could have been longer.
Yeah.
The thing I also didn't like, transferring over from Batman v Superman, is the killing of the Joker, which we know they're not going to kill the Joker because the Joker is going to probably
Yeah.
come back. It's the Joker. You're not going to kill off one of DC's more iconic characters in like a
Well,
movie he's essentially cameoing in.
I mean, I will say in the 1989 Batman, Joker does die.
Joker
Because
does
remember,
die.
he falls from.
I,
Yeah.
I was completely okay with the Joker dying at one point, and I agree that it's definitely a thing. But I'm going to reference Batman v Superman here. Like, Superman died. We know Superman's coming back. We know it's a
Yeah.
thing. Like, we know in the way the movies work out that he's coming back. So to have that, even like for Harley emotionally to have that, like, it's a very, like, it's good to see her, like, attachment to the Joker and have her kind of despair in that moment. Again, making the character more relatable. But again, we're already kind of relating to her because she has that romantic background that we all kind of relate to. It just, we knew the Joker was coming back. We knew that wasn't the end of the Joker. Like, the Joker dying in a plane crash, even for DC Cinematic Universe, even if this was a standalone movie, I think people that was very rushed. I feel like if we really wanted to give like that, the Joker is dead. Like, even other people would react more like, "Yo, we just like shot down the chopper." I felt like in that moment we felt more for Harley Quinn and the team being like, "Yo, Harley's dead," versus like the Joker's dead. Like, no one really cared. But yet again, this would be this mobster gangster that has just died. That would affect anyone, interestingly. But
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
needed to be in there to give Harley like a motivation to come back, but nah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I will admit, I actually was like, oh no, they want the Joker to die, which didn't really, because again, yes, as you said, with the Superman and Batman v Superman, we knew he was coming back, and the ending of this film, didn't necessarily, I wasn't surprised, because I knew someone would come back, someone being Joker. Yeah, I kind of spoiled the end already, but it's predictable. Like, we shouldn't have to spoil it. Yeah. So once all that's taken care of, which, okay, I will mention, there's a part where Deadshot is ordered by Amanda Waller to shoot Harley Quinn when she's hanging from the string from the helicopter, and it looks like he kills her, but then she pops back up and just laughs, and he turns to Amanda Waller and is like, well, looks like a miss. And he just gives her that look like, I don't care if you do anything to me. I'm not shooting a fellow squad member. Which, again, kind of gives Deadshot more personality, which I liked. I liked that.
Yeah.
And
it gives sentiment. Go on. No, keep going.
No, go ahead.
It gives sentiment to the friendship between the Suicide Squad because they're very individualists that only like actual reason to like each other is to get out of the Suicide Squad, to like find a way out of it, which is what we have gotten up to this point. But that kind of companionship there, we were just like, oh, that's like friendship right there. So there's more to it than that, and that was interesting.
Yeah.
I will give to the movie's credit, that was well done. Again, still not convinced they're villains, but like to the movie's credit, it does give them very good humanization. If that's a word.
Yep. It is now.
Oh, it is.
So.
Copyright kind of.
Yeah, okay. So after all this, they finally reach the Enchantress and her brother. After they fought all the goons and typical, pretty much boss level of any video game you play. You have to fight the minions first, and then you fight the big bad at the end.
It realistically felt like a video game because it felt like one giant level with the boss at the end, which is I was like, this is kind of great, but like I wish I could have a controller and run around.
Yep. Like to be Jared Leto's Joker, just kind of go through his view of things.
It's like a video game, but like, come on.
Yeah.
But no, they split off, and this is where things get fuzzy for me. Not like because things that happen that I'm not entirely sure what happened, because this is where the editing kind of speeds up a bit more, and I'm not quite sure what's going on. Like I've been well, where are we at actually? Are we at the boss battle or?
Yeah, we're at the boss level. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So, just bullet list of what's going on. Killer Croc, did he kill people in the sewers?
Yes, he did.
Why?
It was it was the rock thingies of the Enchantress that I guess had followed them for some reason. I don't know. I don't know where they came from. They just happened to appear in the sewer, and Killer Croc attacked them, so they could detonate a bomb.
Oh, okay. Because I had no idea what was going on there. I thought Killer Croc just killed the seals for no reason and then took the bomb up and blew it up.
Oh, no.
That's what I got
No, I mean... Okay, yeah, no. He was fighting... Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
That's fuzzy.
So, number one.
Sorry. Let me keep up. Fuzzy thing number two. What on God's green earth happened to Diablo? First off, did he die?
Did he die? Yes, he did. What? He did die.
Character, like, I felt the audience related to most, and for having to kill, first off, would be a heart-wrenching moment. But we did not capitalize on that moment. We just said, oh, he's dying for a cause. He is a stereotypical villain dying for a cause that makes him a martyr. That humanizes him in so many ways. Also, what did he turn into? What on God's earth was that?
Okay, so there is actually some backstory to what he did. So let me explain. So, because I had to watch a few YouTube videos about it. So El Diablo has a evil spirit in him ever since he's been, ever since he was born, and I guess some versions it's a curse that just grows as he gets older. So there's this demon inside of him that gives him the ability, demon/curse that gives him the ability to blow, the fire out of his body and everything. But once he gets to a certain level of, I guess, think of it like this. Think of when in the Avengers, when Loki takes over Hawkeye, and Hawkeye is telling Black Widow, it's like, it's like he took me out and put someone else in the place.
All right.
That's kind of how the relationship between this demon and him himself was, because
Okay.
he was pretty much giving the demon saying, "Yep, just come out. I can't do this in my human form."
Sense. That makes absolute sense. I'll go with the whole you had a demon in you all along and you just turned into this demon. The demon takes over. And that would explain a lot of like the why he didn't want to go full demon before. Why he didn't want to go full Johnny Storm before. But the fact that he just kind of thrown in there, no, I was just like, whoa, he just went Super Saiyan or something. He just went on flame on. Went literally Hulkbuster. He just went to his final form, and I was just like, oh my god, sweet, awesome. Like I geeked out. I was like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on, but this is really cool. And then he died.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna see that again. That was so gosh darn cool, and I'm never gonna see it again.
No. Yeah, but yes. So do you have any more fuzzy points that need clarified?
No, those were the big ones.
Okay.
Those are the big ones. I do enjoy the last sequence of them fighting the Enchantress, because it's for the team that is very solidified as a team, essentially. They're not fully solidified as a team, but the battle with her teleporting around, that works well, because they have to do predictable things. They have to work individually as different people of different things, which work because, again, the movie's an individualist kind of movie that specifies on the characters. So I actually really enjoyed that last battle sequence. I thought it went very well.
Yeah. And I will say I like the fact that, and again, I'm going to bring up El Diablo. The Enchantress, before they actually even start fighting her, she gets in everybody's head. We're shown what they secretly really want. But I was so happy when El Diablo was like, no. This is not what is... this is not real. This is all what we want. She's just playing mind games on us. And I was like... Thank you. Someone's actually saying what they should be saying. It's like, guys, come on, we are better than this. Snap out of it. I was glad El Diablo said that.
Yeah, and that's what I really liked about that sequence was the fact that it's been done before. The bad guy takes over your mind and shows you what you want beforehand. But very rarely do you have people caving into it, especially on this level. These are characters that have lost something. These are characters that want for better days. And here's the Enchantress giving to them. And they are actively, believing it. They're taking it in. They want this to be real. They're villains. Who the hell cares what they want to say? It's, very realistic. And for Diablo to kind of go into Roy, this is not real. And you have I don't even remember what Deadshot says, but Deadshot says something like believing that this is real. And Diablo's like, no, it's not. I really enjoyed that. I thought that really brought forward the actual wants and desires of the character, their motivations. Because right now the motivations are not to get blown up by the bomb in their neck.
Yeah.
But to show that they have motivation beyond that. That is the final humanizing part of these characters. That is the final thing that makes us, going into this final battle, be like, these aren't the bad guys. These are the good guys fighting the antagonist. That's what kind of solidifies that. I'll get to that again later. I don't know if it's why that's the bad thing, but I'll go later.
So once they do fight, Enchantress goes around everywhere. I do like how the final blow so they do actually stop Brother with the bomb that killed El Diablo as well.
Right.
Which, okay. I guess all it took was the bomb to kill a very, ancient dimensional being. But okay. That's a thing.
I'll go with it.
Yeah. why not? But then we get to the final blow, and it depends on Killer Croc throws a stick of dynamite, I think it was, and Harley Quinn throws her gun to Deadshot because he never misses, which is pretty accurate. And but what I liked was the Enchantress brought back his daughter saying, "Don't do it, Daddy, don't do it. Sometimes the best thing is to not pull the trigger." And at that point, I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm so sorry, and I know you really should care for your daughter, but at this point, you kind of need to ignore that because this is kind of big, and you want to get rid of the evil Enchantress that's right in front of you."
Right.
So
very good, very well done.
Yeah.
Like we just said, that kind of moment reminiscent of like the days that we want, like spending that time with our daughter, bringing back that fourth, like that kind of thing. For like, obviously, like you knew he eventually had a shot, but I legitimately thought for a couple of minutes there, like, he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. Oh my God, he's not. Like the movie had me going that he wasn't gonna do it, and so I was on the edge of my seat, like, Deadshot, no, Deadshot, please, we got stuff to do. So that was a very good move by the movie. That was a very good move.
Yeah. Yeah, so then, he does end up shooting the stick of dynamite, and, things blow up, and, you have your conclusion. Once everything's blown up, it's back to normal, and then they're stuck with Enchantress in her, I guess you could say, native form. I don't know, because she has the creepy black gothic look, and then she has the bright, colorful look. I don't know what you'd call that, but I don't know. But so they eventually, fight her for one last time, and a few things happen. I don't remember exactly how they do it, but there's somehow. Oh, I think it's the Rick Flag.
Yeah.
Or someone gets her heart to Rick Flag. I think it's Boomerang that gets it from and hands it to Rick, and Deadshot's like, "All right, this is your chick. You gotta end this now." And again, that's why I love Will Smith, because he's good at this stuff, like saying, "Dude, you got crap to get done. Get it done." It's like at this point, you can't hold off anymore. Personal feelings aside, you have to do this. And so luckily he, the Enchantress, like, "You won't do it. You wouldn't hurt me because you don't have." Basically, she said, "You don't have the balls to do it." And he's like, "Yeah, screw you." And he basically, "Screw you," and I'm like, "Really?" Which I guess, that's the thing. And then she stabs the heart until it's completely gone. And Enchantress is in a mud cocoon now. And then Dr. June Moon, has a really funny name. Dr. June Moon emerges from the cocoon, and she's all better.
You put your June platoon upon the moon.
Yes. And after that, it's like, "Hey, all right, everybody, we did it. Yay, it's over." Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, and two more things before it's over.
Mm-hmm.
They have, first off, they did have, because they killed Diablo, evidently, that solidified the movie, like, we're not afraid to kill our characters. Straight up not.
Yep.
Like Joker, whatever. But we were not afraid to kill our characters, especially in this final battle. So I wasn't expecting Dr. Moon to come back, but that was a nice kind of ending. Like, you usually don't, like, you knew these characters were going to survive till the end. You knew they weren't going to die. I guess, but I mean, I'm bitter about that. But to have that kind of, like, now being up in the air, that's something that Marvel doesn't really do that much.
Yeah.
And I think that DC now has that opportunity to play with it. I think that's good, and I think that made that moment very unique. Also, Amanda Waller comes back ready to kill all of them, and I'm really like that. That made me really go with the Suicide Squad on that one. I'd just be like, "Come on, Amanda, why? And so, but then
Yeah.
they actually negotiate. Like, we just save the world, and they negotiate things that they want, which is another good ending. So.
Yeah, which Deadshot gets to see his daughter again, which the way he explains math to her was I thought that was a very interesting way to explain how to find the x on an isosceles triangle.
That was again, a great comedic moment, very organic. It was a great, nice like end to the movie, nice end to his
Yeah,
character. So.
yeah, yeah. I mean, all their and now I just realized this, but I will admit one thing that I thought was funny and a little disturbing was that Captain Boomerang had a pink unicorn stuffed animal with him at all times. I just remembered that. I don't know what the story behind that is. It's
Well, it's a fetish, but like that's the entire point. And it's a running gag. My issue with it is like it especially with these kind of movies, like having that running gag works well, but when we're believing like all these fantastical elements, we're weirdly acceptive of the running of that gag. Like, I'm gonna compare it a little bit to Deadpool, because Deadpool has those moments with a pink stuffed unicorn. Same difference. But with that one, it's not a running gag. It just shows up and you're like, oh my god, what a unicorn, that's hilarious. Whereas this one, like, we laughed the first time it showed up, and then we laughed again because, like, oh, it's the unicorn thing, it's a callback. But then once it became an integral part of the character, we're like, all right, like, that's just Captain Boomerang. That's part of his character. Again, we didn't have the character, so the pink unicorn was our meat to the character, which shouldn't be the character. But.
yeah. So ends and go through all the credits and then we get and then just to briefly again touch on the mid credit because there was something I did mention about it earlier. Mm-hmm. Why Bruce Wayne is actually meeting with Amanda Waller is, and I wish they would have done this in Batman v Superman, because the way he found out about metahumans in Batman v Superman, I thought was just so lazy. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, cool. He broke into Lex Luthor's. Well, I mean, he didn't have to break into Lex Luthor, but he snuck into Lex Luthor's facility and downloaded all the information he has. But who wants to figure out that there's metahumans on a flash drive? Like, I felt that him getting the files from Amanda Waller seemed a more appropriate Batman Bruce Wayne way to figure things out compared to a flash drive. I don't know, that's just me, but I felt like the way they handled that with the mid-credits was like, I wish this was kind of the way he found out about the other metahumans, not through a hacked drive.
I agree and disagree with you. I disagree with the laziness. I like the idea of him finding it through those files. I liked how it was implemented and like seeing all the characters. I think that was a good setup to what's to come, especially with the figuring out Wonder Woman and Batman v Superman. Again, it could have been done a lot better, but it definitely, I think it fit well. Whereas this one, I kind of felt like, why are you still researching this, bro? Like, you've got things like we saw the brief file of the Flash, and we were like, yeah, we already know about the Flash. Didn't he just find out about that? I do agree with you on the fact that he kind of stumbled on it more than like actually deduced and figured it out wasn't quite right. Like, it's Batman. He's a master detective. He should figure it out and look for the information he wants, not just be like, yo, hey, what's this dude like swimming with a Triton doing? What's this guy made of lightning doing? Oh, hey, there's Wonder Woman. What is she doing? Like, it seemed very It
Yeah.
seemed really just thrown at him versus him going to get it, which I think worked better in this mid-credits scene. It was actually him actively going to learn more. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much the movie in its entirety. So yeah, in my written review for this, I gave the film 3.9 out of 5 stars. I think I still stick to that rating. And I mean, I do get more detail in my written review, which can be found on the website. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what would I don't know if you did score it before. If you didn't, what would you probably score it out of 5
I
now?
have not scored. Oh, I'm running low on battery. I did not score it before. If I had to score it, I would give it 3 out of 5 stars. And I think
Okay.
the biggest issue with this movie, and which leads to the whole discussion of critics versus fans, is the fact that we didn't get all that we wanted to know more. We wanted to know more. The fans who did know more, who grew up with these characters, who read the comics, who know about the actual Suicide Squad and all the characters in them, were able to better enjoy the movie because they knew those backstories. They knew about the characters. So when like Captain Boomerang did something, they could laugh because they knew about Captain Boomerang. Whereas I was just like, I have no idea what's going on because I just met Captain Boomerang. I wasn't able to fully relate, which is where the critics come from. The movie didn't give enough for people new to the series to fully enjoy, which is why fans, it was a great film for fans. It was a fantastic film for fans. They got everything right. And it's not a bad movie by itself, by far. It's not a bad movie. It just wasn't enough to well establish the characters. It wasn't enough to give the movie what it deserved, which was villains being put to a random team to do good things. We didn't get the good villain stuff. We knew good things were imminent, and that's why I just felt like I wanted more. Now, I eventually, like, that's good in, like, DC's point, because now they can give me more Suicide Squad stuff, and I will go watch it. But for people new to it that knew nothing about it, they're confused, and they wouldn't necessarily go for another one based off of that quality.
Yeah.
So 3 out of 5 stars.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So. So I mean that's basically our review of Suicide Squad. Alex Weiss gave it 4.25 out of 5 stars. Okay, I mean I'm not going to say that's totally wrong or that's his opinion, and I'm going to be fine with that. So we thank him for being here, even though it was kind of short time, but he came, and that's all we care. And yeah. And then again, thank you, Miss. I'm not going to do that again. Thank you, Connor, for being here for this review. I will see you in person in a few weeks. So I will be in Chicago soon. Don't worry, I'm on my way eventually. Yeah. Eventually, yeah. So yeah, as I said before, written reviews are on our website, which will be in the description below. If you liked this review, like and subscribe, and comment below what your thoughts are. I will say if there's comments that start a war, I will remove them and I will block whoever the commenter was, because I do not tolerate that stuff on my channel. So just be warned.
The war with commoners?
Well,
engaging in the war?
Well, I mean, to the point where it gets like a little out of hand.
Because I need to talk to some people about not starting a war.
Yeah. So let's try to keep it civilized. Is basically what I'm saying. Keep it civilized. And yeah, so yep, I'm Zain Van Wyk. That's Connor McCluskey, Alex West in the beginning, and we will see you next time. Peace out, guys.
Adios.
Adios.